Hello and welcome to a new playthrough of Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 2 just come out and I know people might go back and play Dark Souls 1 and want to get through it reasonably easily. So I'm going to do a guide for it. I've already got a playthrough that's kind of a guide. This is going to be really cut up and be like specific bosses and areas. And we're going to do an area video. This is quite a long video, but it's going to go all the way up to the gargoyle boss. So it's quite long, but it's fine. I left this opening a while because I thought I might need to say more, but I already got it down to a nice brief. We get invaded a lot and it sucks, but I'm trying to do it what would happen to you if you play it. So this is just going to be quick character customization. We're going to play a warrior because it's the most generic and really easy to do. Our starting gift will be the master key. Not really recommended on your first playthrough, but I'm going to recommend it because you can get quite a few good items straight away. I won't be using any weapons or things that are like a chance drop. Like I won't use the Black Knight sword if I get it, because there's a chance you won't. I'm going to just kind of use weapons you definitely can pick up and will definitely have. Don't completely follow my level up because I won't be getting much vitality, what gives you extra health and things. I won't be doing that. The first thing we're going to do is I like to be able to roll and manoeuvre quickly, and with this armor set you can't, so we can take off the helmet and the gloves, which allow us to roll quite a bit faster. Yeah, that's about it. And a nice little thing, if you come out of here you can see a boss you're going to use much later on. The Stray Demon, look at him, he's great. So after you've gone the first bonfire, you'll go through these doors and there'll be an enemy, the Asylum Demon, above you. You have no way to fight him unless you pick fire bombs. If you kill him this first time through without running through this side gate, you will get his weapon, but it's pretty hard to do without fire bombs. And we've got master key, we can't do it. The rest of the area is pretty simple. You get the heater shield if you're a warrior, which is a really good shield, a starting shield. I won't be using it. I like two-handing. It's a good recommendation. You do ridiculous amounts of damage. Two-handing also allows you to hold weapons. It doubles your strength essentially. So if you've got a weapon that requires 20 strength, you've only got 10, you'll be able to use it if you two-hand it. You do loads more damage. It's great. You can also parry without a shield. There's lots you can do without a shield still. In here, there is the first trap of the game. This is a tutorial area, so it's not exactly really difficult. There's the first trap, big rolly ball, and a shortcut. Go back in through that hole, and there's a dude to talk to. It's easy to do. Then you get up here, and it is the first jump attack area. Just roll off the edge, hit him as you're falling, spam whatever, RB or whatever. And then the fight's pretty easy. He takes loads of damage if you hit him on his ass. Sometimes he'll do this fly thing, just roll away. Otherwise stay to his right butt cheek, which is weird to say, because his back attack always pretty much goes to the left. So if you stay at the right butt cheek, he'll never hit you. He got me quite crammed in, but he's really easy. Just stick to the butt cheek. And we get the big pilgrim key. Out here there is a soul we can pick up. There are like clusters of souls laying around that you can use. You can pick them up off bodies sometimes, and a lot of times they're just hidden. There's also a NPC, I guess, it's not really an NPC, that we can talk to, and is kind of useful, I guess. On the opposite side is Snuggly the Crow, I think I don't know what gender it is. If you drop certain items on it, it will replace them with something else. Sometimes you can do ridiculous things, like you can get rubbish later on that if you give to her, there's a chance she'll give you the Asylum Demon's weapon and things. It's completely random. We're going to skip all cutscenes because you can watch them on your own. Now, we're here. If you do not know what you're doing at any time, talk to NPCs. That dude over there, the Crestfallen Knight, will help you out. We'll go over and chat to him to prove a point. There are a lot of people who say Dark Souls doesn't give you enough information. You just got to chat to NPCs. I got rid of most of my souls by levelling up. Souls are used as a currency and a level up. Use them now because we're going to run around this area before we even really leave the Firelink Shrine, so we can get the best start, really. Get a load of souls, well, about 6,000 souls, and some good armour. It's their trousers. You can get some good stuff. But you might die doing it every now and again, so make sure you get rid of any souls. Up here is the way to the Undead Burg. We're just going to go around to get that item on the bridge over there. You may have seen it. It's not the easiest one to get. Also why I said get rid of souls, because you might die. you've got to jump. Which if you don't know how to jump, it's double tapping B or circle when you're running and you'll do a jump. It's not an easy thing to pull off. They made it 100 times better in Dark Souls 2. This annoyed me. He got stuck, which made him very annoying to get, and I couldn't really do much. And the second guy shows up. It wasn't great. Longsword is a really great starting weapon because its strong attacks are ridiculous. If you're one-handing it, it's really helpful in tight corridors because you get a straight jab. If you're in an open area, the two-handed one is like a big swing. It's one of the best weapons in the game, especially if you upgrade it. See, one-handed kills the rats. If you ever need to see rats, make sure you kill them. There is a chance they will drop humanity, which if you do not know, humanity can be used to unhollow yourself. We'll quickly jump across here and you'll get it. It's not an easy jump. Humanity can be used to unhollow yourself. It can also be used to restore health. It also increases your item drop rate. I think the first one increases it by 50, and then after it's like 10. You can go up to like 450. There is, if you look in the menu. Yeah, I messed up the jump. If you look up in the menu, there is a item discovery rate little counter, and humanity increases that. There is also a ring later on that does it as well. But always have at least one humanity just on you, even if you're hollow, just because you can get some more stuff. I'm not sure how it works, but some enemies also have humanity on them, and if you just run around the Undead Burg and kill things, that was lucky. Your humanity will just increase because some have them. I don't know why. There's still a few items around here, fire bombs, some more souls, and we'll get them all now. There's also some ridiculously important items that if you don't get now, well, you can get them at any point, but they're really, really useful. We're also going to run past our first Covenant. Covenant's mostly multiplayer. Some can be used, like this dude will give you miracles. You can buy miracles off of him. Oh god, there's ones that help with pyromancy stuff. There's a couple that are multiplayer related, like the Dark Wraiths. You get extra items from invading people and stuff. Down here, there is 3 chests. One has Homeward Bones, the one on this one here. The middle one is more if you're a cleric. There's like a Morning Star and Talisman, I think. Yeah, you don't really need it if you're not going for a cleric race. And here are black cracked red eye orbs, which allow you to invade other people. Homeward Bones are the most useful because they allow you to return to your last bonfire. Here are also Loy's Talismans, which stop any enemy near you using Estus flasks, and they can also show mimic chests if you throw them nearby. Reason I equip the shield is some of these enemies are pretty tough. There's no way you're going to be able to fight them. But there is this here. There's also the Zweihander and some ridiculous weapons if you want to just quickly run through. But get the shield just to stop the chance of being hit. It does mean we can't roll, but we'll be able to take a few hits. Running up here will get us another soul. It also means we'll lose the skeletons. We'll be able to get to the bonfire and reset the skeletons. Because if you don't do this, the skeletons will follow you into the middle of Firelink Shrine, and you will not be able to rest at the bonfire if there's enemies nearby. So, probably not a good idea to not do this. There is one more soul we can pick up. These aren't huge, but in total you can get about over 6,000, which will level you up at this point about 5 levels, I think. This room becomes massively important later. That chest, if you drop any item that's actually really relevant, there's some rings that you need to carry on, like progress the game later on. If you drop them by accident, those items will spawn in that chest, so it's a good thing to know. Or you just don't drop important items. It's really not that hard. We are now going to go down into the is it New Londo? I think it's New Londo Ruins. First we'll get Homeward Bone, because we're going to need it. On the left here is the Firekeeper. She is keeping the bonfire lit. She also has no tongue and is really gross. If you give a Firekeeper souls though, she will reinforce your Estus flasks, which means they will give you extra health whenever you use them. And there's one down here, so we're going to go and do that. We're going to skip past this elevator, I think. Yeah, look at that fade. There's still some more cells down here. I'll also run back over the switch when you leave the elevator, send it back up. It will save you time later, so having to pull the lever and wait for it. There's a blacksmith down here, around this corner. You'll probably never use him. I don't think I ever have used him to level up a weapon, but it's fine. Firekeeper souls, if you use them instead of giving them to the Firekeeper, will give you 9 humanity. Don't do it though. I don't think it's ever really worth it until you're on like New Game Plus and you can't reinforce your Estus Flask anymore. Also, if you don't like whatever starting weapon you've got, the S-stocks down there, it's more of like a fencing sword, I guess would be the best way to describe it. In here is a transient curse, do not use it. It gives you the effect of being cursed without being cursed. There are ghosts down here, and the only way you can hurt them and defend from them is either having divine weapons or being cursed. But there's only a few enemies in the game that will curse you, and cursing drops half your health. So a transient curse just gives you the effects without, you know, dropping half your health. So here's the Firekeeper Soul. There's two ways out of here. You can either just jump off the edge and kill yourself after you've got it, or you can just homeward bone out. I may have messed up and have got killed, so there was a quick cut. We'll just ignore that I did that. We're going to go back down because there's one more area. One of the reasons we got the Master Key is to allow us to get a new armor set and a reasonably good ring. And there's a couple of more souls we can get. This is a later game area. It lets you go to Blighttown. The path to the right there is a second way into Blighttown. It's probably a nicer way in, but you miss a lot of stuff, so just don't use it. You'll come back out that way at one point. Over here is a side boss that is asleep. It's a big undead dragon. You don't actually need to deal with him right now. You can pick up 2 of his items without waking him up. He is hugging a shield, a sword, and some souls. The weapon on the shield on the left you can pick up, but don't risk it. Just get the souls there. When you want to fight him and then kill him, because it means you can get a few hits in. Once you've woken him up, he'll always be awake. This area is pretty tough, and you may die a few times. Maybe not even your fault. If you manage to get around this Drake, he sometimes will clip you with his tail or wing and knock you off the edge. So just jump past him. In the cave there to the right is one more humanity. It's a big risk to try and get in there. You'll most probably die, so leave it. It's not that important. These ones are all pretty easy to dodge, but you don't need to find them. They're not relevant. Here, this one just stay as far as you can to the right until he shoots lightning, and then just dart to the left. You can do that with every enemy here. Problem with this, it takes a while to get that off screen sometimes, and these will gang up on you. But just keep luring them to do that and then run around. Up here's the ring, and then just homeward bone out. Or if you've got no souls, you can just kill yourself again. Complete defense. But this isn't a hard thing to do, and it means you can have a really ridiculous start. Well, not ridiculous. It means you can have some good armour, a nice ring, some extra levels. It's always nice. And we'll just push back. Now I'm going to quickly cut around. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to equip the ring and I'm going to go and give the Firekeeper the soul. And then I'll cut around me taking... The worst bit about this game is if you want to consume all those souls, you have to do it one by one. And it takes quite a while. Now we have... If we go to it... Go on, go to it. We have +1 Estus Flask, so we get extra health off of it, which is nice. Another thing you can do with humanity, I forgot to mention, is you can kindle a bonfire, which means it'll whenever you go to a new bonfire, you only get 5 Estus Flasks from it. If you kindle it, you'll get 10. Later on, you can get up to 15. I popped 2 humanity, 1 so we can hollow, and then we have 1 in our inventory so we can get items. There we go, we are now human. The one in Firelink Shrine, the bonfire, is already kindled, so you automatically get 10 from it, which is nice to know. And we'll level. As I said, you might not want to follow my levelling pattern the same. You might want some extra vitality, because I'll only go up to like 14, maybe. It depends. I'm thinking about it now, I think I might get 12. Yeah, I get 12, but I rarely go very high on that, which means I can only take 2 or 3 hits, and especially later in the game. So, don't always follow me. But now, because we've got our endurance up, which also increases our equipment, I don't know, carrying capacity, I don't remember what it's called, but it means you can hold more armour and bigger swords. Here we're now in the Undead Burg. I'm only showing this quickly because there's also some things you might miss on your first time through if you are not looking. These guys are all ridiculously easy. Look at him, they're chumps. They also drop fire bombs. Any enemy that throws fire bombs has a chance to drop fire bombs. But if you go down here, there is some more souls, there is a humanity, and there is rubbish. There should be a dude down there, but if you make too much noise, he will run up after you. So he's sometimes gone. I think he's already at the ladder now. Yeah, you can see him walking around. This little room is very easily missable. The camera is not kind to you here. These hollows are, they might look skinny and crap, but they are way worse than the armoured ones. They have like this rage, like wild swing that can really mess you up if there's a group of them. So, be careful. Somehow he hit me. Did no damage, but somehow he hit me. As I said earlier, this rubbish, if you trade it with Snuggly, the crow, I think it's Snuggly, I'm not sure. If you trade it with her or him, there's a chance you can get some ridiculous weapons. The asylum we won't be able to go back to for a while. We'll have to go through the Undead Parish. I will show you how to get back to the asylum. Not in this video. Down there is the worst room in the game, where a boss is later on. Just thought you could see it. The boss isn't in there, which is not great. But it's a terrible, terrible room. It's awful. We have some extra humanity, and now we're going to carry on through the fog. Fog, I think, acts as a loading screen. I'm not really sure, because it disappears forever, so I don't think it's a loading screen. I think it's just to confuse you, because majority of the time there's a boss on the other side of a fog gate. So I don't really know why it's there. I forgot about this. I don't think it's possible to die there, but it is scary. Big fuck off Drake. This room can kind of suck as well. It's just because there's the one crossbow guy. It's usually a good idea just to run up, kill the crossbow guy, and then deal with them one by one as they run up the stairs after you. But it's not a big deal. I won't be showing every small room like this. I do know why I'm showing some of this stuff, but I won't be showing like intricate details of all rooms. It's just at this low level when you're not sure what you're doing. It can sometimes suck to deal with these areas. And it's nice to know what you're going to be up against. If this is you haven't played Dark Souls 1, hey, a Randy Swan. These guys, best way to get them, kick them. Or just use a two-handed weapon, because two-handing a weapon, you can break someone's shield. Not break it, but you can break the defense. They're doing this way more often than usual. You're going to need about 5,000 souls. There's 3 items we're going to need to buy. We don't need to, but they're recommended. I'm going to quickly just equip some. I know I'm going over those, so we'll get back to what I was going to say a minute ago. But you're going to need about 5,000 souls here. There's 2 1,000 items and 3,000. 3,001 you don't actually really need, but it's always nice to have. It's a bottomless box, repair box, and a residence key, which if you haven't got the master key, you're going to need the residence key. If you're going to go for a magic build, also you're going to want the residence key, because there is a character the master key can't get out of somewhere, and the residence key can. So, yeah. We're going to keep going around here because there's another item. As I was saying, if this is your first time playing Dark Souls, if you played Dark Souls 2 and you want to go back, or you want to play Dark Souls 2 but you think you should play Dark Souls 1 first, this is probably the best. I've completed this game like 5-6 times. And this is, when I'm just trying to go through it easily, this is how I usually play it. So, this is probably the best way I have found to do it. There could be better ways. There are ways you can get, like, ridiculously overpowered weapons within the first 10 minutes. But, I don't... Some of them, you go to areas you've never been to before. I'm going to do this very linearly and it'll be good. So, yeah. We have this. Now, run around for a while and then get 5,000 souls. You can usually just, from the bonfire, run to those 2 spear guys. And then go and buy the repair kit, because you also get extra humanity, as I said, from just killing random enemies, and it should only take 2 or 3 times, and then you'll get the repair box. The bottomless box is just pretty much used to sort out your inventory, because sometimes it can get very cluttered. The route I'm fighting these, probably the best way to do it. Make sure you kill the crossbow guy up on that tower before you fight these guys, because he will really mess up your day. He has destroyed me multiple times, and sometimes I forget about him. If you haven't got the master's key, the residence key will open this door. You can use either, and it has a very important item that will help you with a boss coming up. It's pretty much why I showed this area just for this box, because it's really useful. Gold Pine Resonant. If you put it on your weapon, it'll make it all lightning. Up there, it's kind of like the boulder in the asylum. Pretty easy. He dodged me. What an ass. That really puts them at risk. I don't know why they do it. Down here is a Black Knight. If you want to do this, there is a chance he will drop a very strong weapon, one of the best in the game. And to do that, you need about You just need more humanity, and later on you can come back if you get a ring that increases item discovery, and then fight him. But I just want his souls, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, he has a ridiculous weapon, and if you have a high item discovery, there is a good chance you'll get his weapon. But you still might not get it. Best way to fight Black Knights at this low level, because they're bloody strong, is just get them in this log. Get good at backstabbing. Don't have your shield up, because if you have your shield up you will not be able to backstab, and then just keep doing this and you'll kill them very easily. Yeah. Even if I got the Black Knight sword, I would not be using it, because as I said, I'm not going to use any item that there's a chance drop of, because that would be a terrible guide. I could show you on my other video, I have how to get the Drake sword. I'll link to it most probably, because I don't want to do it now because it takes a bloody long time. But yeah, the Drake sword, if you're having trouble, is a ridiculously good weapon that you can get pretty early on. But you could look about 1,000 videos of this up and just do it. Killing him now is also pretty good, because you'll get another ring, the blue tear stone ring, like the red tear stone ring. When you have low health, you get high defense, the blue one, and the red one gives you higher attack when you're low. Pretty good rings, pretty useful. Not against the guy we're about to fight. Because there is another ring we can get right now, which is one of the best in the game. Okay, we're just going to equip this ring. Blue tear stone ring. Another reason we got the master key is because back up here and in the tower there is a door that you're meant to go there much later on in the game. But with the master key you can go there right now. And at the bottom of the tower, it's right here, bottom of the tower is a really, really strong dude called Havel the Rock. We're not going to get into lore, but it might not be Havel, it could be just a soldier. There's about 1,000 different things, but he has Havel's ring, which means you can hold more items, you can wear better armor and hold bigger swords and still roll. It just increases your carrying capacity. I can't remember what it's called, we'll just thingy. But it's amazing. This dude's ridiculously strong and will kill you in a hit. If you don't think you can do this, it's fine, you can play the game without this ring. But he's also very easy. He's very slow, even though he has the ring, and you can do what you did with the Black Knight and just backstab him. We'll just bush, and then you start it, and this is all you need. You can come here later in the game and fight him properly if you feel bad about this, because it is kind of laming it out a bit. He is still difficult even if you are doing this. He sometimes will just pop the F back up. We're going to speed this up. He will sometimes just pop up and he won't let you get the backstab. He sometimes does like a jump attack that lunges at you, and when he's swinging back his weapon he can still hit you and kill you. He is kind of insane. Sometimes you get a shield out, which means it takes him ages to hit him because he'll just follow you. But it's not that hard to do this, and you get a ridiculous ring, which means you can carry a lot of crap really early on. Also, if you're going for like a heavy build, it's still recommended you have it, because you will be able to get like the medium strength roll. I don't know what it's called. But you better get the medium roll still, even if you're wearing ridiculous armor. If you want Havel's armor and his weapon, which is a dragon tooth, you can get it. It's much later on in the game in a hidden area, but we'll most probably get it. Never use it, but it's fine. If I did change into the brigadier pants, trousers, I don't know what you want to call them. Depends if you're American or English. I don't know. You can. I changed in this because they're pretty good and they're light, which is nice. Nearly done. Always just stay attentive though, because I've got him this low before and he's just swung at me. I am confused why that hit earlier on killed me, because usually if you have a shield up you can take at least one hit, which is why I have a shield. And we have Havel's ring. I'll replace the red tear stone, because this ring is amazing. It's so good. And there's a shortcut here to the forest. We'll open the door, but we won't use it. Anyway, back up just before the Taurus demon fight. In this barrel is a crystal lizard. These are throughout the game. If you don't kill them in time, they will disappear, and they'll respawn eventually though. And they have Titanite, which is the material used to craft weapons and upgrade weapons. So this boss fight, there's a couple of ways to do it. Recommend before you fight him anyway, come up here and kill both these guys, because they would make the fight hell. This Taurus demon, you can just fight him normally, shield, sword. If you want to do a massive amount of damage to him though, you can run up here and do the same thing we did to the Asylum demon and get a huge amount of damage, like full damage on him, you know, what we did in Silent Demon. I'm not going to do that. I usually just fight him one-on-one. This time it goes bad. Also use the gold pine resin because it does ridiculous damage to him. I kind of mess up this fight a little bit. It doesn't go to plan, and I kind of feel bad about the way it ends, which is fine. I end up getting the third way you can kill him. I've never actually done before, which is nice that I did it. My problem is I was running in pretty far. You can very easily tell his attacks. This is where I messed it up. I stayed under him instead of trying to get the F out, and he did things like this, and I messed it up a little, but it's fine. As soon as he hits me once, I start going a bit weird, and it goes a bit bad, but it's fine. You can essentially just dodge him. I keep trying to roll into him, roll away. I don't listen to myself. Don't listen to my own advice, and I get wrecked. He's really not hard though. There are worse enemies, but like here, he just followed me, which is annoying as hell. So I just kind of went mental and started running at him, which he's fine. It still worked, I guess. It still worked. Just running really close, and most of the attacks didn't actually hit me. The music's really cool on this. You mostly can't hear it, which is fine. Okay, he's nearly dead. My gold pine resin has run out, so my damage I'm doing to him is ridiculously less. And then he jumps off, which is the third way you can kill him. I feel really bad about that. I don't feel quite cool. I feel really... Ugh, it wasn't the way I wanted it to go. That's fine. Run down here, and Slayer's here, who will give you an item that lets you be summoned in other people's world, and if you talk all the way through his conversation, you'll be able to summon him later. This bridge, run on and then run the hell off, because it will trigger the dragon we saw earlier. This, when the game came out, was, I think, way harder. Now you can run all the way to the stairs and get out. He used to just breathe fire at you whenever, but now he gives you time, luckily enough. This is a good grinding spot as well. You can just run up here, trigger him, and then run down, and he'll just kill the hollows on the bridge and just keep giving you souls. But do that, and then you can do whatever there. Don't go under the bridge. It's a good place to go if you want to get the Drake sword, but don't go under there. There is an F ton of rats and tight areas, and you'll probably get poisoned. Don't do it. Instead, just wait right here. Eventually, he will fly down and try and fight you. It's how you trigger him if you actually want to fight him. We're going to trigger him and then just run the F past him. This is also a bad time because someone decided to invade right about now. I'm moving my mic. Which wasn't great, and I just decided to run the F away and hope he didn't follow me. As I said, I'm playing this online and I'm going to get invaded, just like you would. So, the dragon, once you go over here, will just fly off because they don't want you getting the Drake sword. Even though you can get it even easier, but that's fine. Because I've been invaded, I can't use the bonfire. But we wouldn't want to anyway because we can get the claymore, which is a pretty good strong weapon if you want it. He ran under the bridge. If you invade someone, you don't get attacked by enemies, so you can just traverse their world and it doesn't matter. But because his gate's locked, he wouldn't be able to get me anyway, which is weird. For some reason, whenever I play this now, I get invaded by people who are at the end of the game. Like, there's no... The PvP was not done great because I just get invaded by people who are 1,000 times stronger than me. But he's a pretty cool guy. We could be friends if he wasn't invading me, which is fine. I thought, what the hell, he's not going to leave, so let's just fight. Bow like you always should, but he left me something. This is usually what people do to kill you. Apparently this guy's nice and gave me a +5 Black Knight sword. That is a fully upgraded Black Knight sword. It's one of the strongest weapons in the game, and some dude gave it to me. I'm obviously not going to use it. I'm really annoyed I recorded on this character because otherwise I'd use the F out of that weapon and destroy the whole game. I did send him a message saying thanks, and he told me he was just at the end of the game just grinding and had loads of them and was just giving them away, which is nice. Then we fought. I knew I wasn't going to win. He's got Black Knight armor and he has a Chaos Blade, I'm pretty sure. He's ridiculous. I was not winning. I did a bit of damage to him. I can feel good about that. But he's a nice dude. Everyone be nice to him. He gave me a ridiculous weapon, which I'm really sad I can't use. Yeah, I just got lucky. That probably will not ever happen to you. And he wrecked me. I've also once been given, I think it was 90 homeward bones by a guy. Like, for some reason people just give me stuff, which is cool. And I thought I'd say thanks. Be nice and say thank you. Because, you know, that's cool. Now we're back here. We just got to wait for the dragon again. The problem, if you're coming up through the shortcut and you've used the thing, the dragon will come from behind you and probably set you on fire. Even if you're hiding in here, if you're coming from the other direction, he'll probably do some damage to you. Nothing drastic though, so you should be fine. But we didn't lose anything. I've still got my souls here. Everything's good. And we can chill at the sunlight altar. This is a kind of important lore area. I was trying to see if I had a praise the sun thing. I don't. The sunlight altar, important, especially involving Solaire. Again, I'm not going to get into masses of lore, but it also appears in Dark Souls 2. Maybe not the same one, maybe the same one, I don't know. It'd be cool if it is. It's not though, I don't think. Spears, we have an F ton of spears because when I was trying to get the 5,000 souls earlier, they kept dropping them. We will not kindle this bonfire. I think I've kindled the one earlier. Did I kindle this one? No. I was becoming human again. I kindled the other one, I think, because it's kind of important and we go there a lot. But now I have a Black Knight sword. I need 18 dexterity to hold it, but it's ridiculous. It does 330 damage plus, what is it? Plus an extra 258 for thrust. It's a ridiculous weapon. It's insane. I wish I could use it, but I'm not gonna. There is another Black Knight up the top of this spire, tower, thing. We will go and fight him. I had a quick thought of should I, but yeah, why not? He has a halberd. A quick fade there, because you might notice now I'm hollow. I might have died. Just a bit. This dude might have wrecked me. Don't fight him up here. Lead him down. The Black Knight sword also counts as a great sword, and so does the halberd. But the Black Knight sword isn't a great sword. Like, it is a great sword. It is a great sword, but it's not called a great sword when you look it up. The halberd is a great sword though, and is mental. Some of his attacks are ridiculous. Just do the backstab thing though. For some reason I find it way harder to get backstabs on him. I can't just keep up the stun locking. He like gets out of it, which is annoying, because if you do it too early it won't do it. If you do it too late it won't do it. But his attacks, I don't think he really hits me this time, but he is mental. They're crazy. Oof. That will pretty much almost kill me, which I guess it isn't that bad then, because I only have like 12 vitality. But always roll away. Don't try and roll towards him. Don't try and roll left or right. Just roll away, because one roll you'll get far enough away, and it's too big of a risk otherwise. Some enemies, while they're standing up, you can start hitting them again. Some you can't. That I just rolled into. It's not great, but he's not terrible. And I pretty much I think only once he's never actually dropped his halberd. For some reason he has. I don't think he does, but in my head he has a higher drop rate. He just gives me that. I've never used it though. I don't really use greatswords like the Zweihander and things. I've watched people use them and seen them have ridiculous damage and like just stun bosses and things. The Zweihander is amazing and you can get it pretty early on. But Black Knight greatsword. Okay, this area kind of sucks. One, because I messed it up. There's an item in here that's really useful for this area. I've already got it. This is the second time coming in here because I really did mess up. This is the better way to do this area, instead of doing what I just got destroyed last time, which sucks. There is a boar in here which pretty much cannot take damage from physical attacks. He takes an F ton of damage from fire though, which over there where that body's hanging on the edge, there usually will be alluring skulls. There'll be 4 of them. And what that does is make certain enemies run towards it. I will show you what it does, because I feel I need to. We're going to run down there and make sure the hollows are dead before we start trying to mess with the boar. You'll get 4 alluring skulls that will make enemies run towards it, especially the boar. So what you can do, once you've killed this dude, die. Ah, okay. We'll just quickly cut. What you can do is throw the alluring skull in the fire and the ball will run right into it. The problem is I fell down right next to the ball and kind of aggroed him, So he kept running over there trying to get up to me, which meant it was taking ages, it was going awful. There was a dude with a crossbow shooting at me. So just, if you have fire bombs, which by now you should have quite a few, you should at least have the black fire bombs and some normal ones. They will do a load of damage. So what you can do is just stand up here and throw them at him. And it takes a while, but it's not awful, and it's better than trying to fight him. If you haven't got any fire bombs, the only other thing I can guess to try and do is down where those holes were a second ago, get him to run down there to attack you, and whenever he turns around to walk back up here, because he has a weird thing to run back up here, you can attack his arse, and eventually he'll die after a few minutes. Sometimes he'll drop a boar skull, and there's a whole new other area we just ran through. There's one key in there that I'd recommend getting, the mystery key. It's pretty useful, and then that's all that's in that room. This guy, make sure you get the backstab, because he's pretty tough. I think they're Boulder Knights, and I'm sure he's like way tougher than all the other Boulder Knights. If you time that right, you can just get the lunge there. I missed it. Get the Knight Shield. I won't be using it. I don't know how great it is. I don't think I've ever used it, so don't worry. We're nearly at the weapon we're going to be using though. We will not be using the longsword the whole game. We will be levelling up though, because it is useful in 1 or 2 areas. Down there is the weapon we're going to get. It's amazing. I love it so much. Here, lure this guy out and run back in, because there is a spear hollow behind you on the other side, and fighting them both is not good. What you can do is try and get a backstab on this guy, or just, if you messed it up, just go mental and then jab him. He'll die pretty quick. And this guy, make sure you're one-handing it, because if you're two-handing it, you'll hit the walls and will do no damage to him. So make sure you get the jab. Okay, we're at the Undead Parish now. We're not far from being done. It's gone pretty well. This is another shortcut. You can just try and run. You don't actually have to deal with that room at all. You can just run here. I don't do it though, because I like fighting things, so it's fine. This shortcut you will pretty much never use. This gate is open at the beginning, but as soon as you go in, and it gets shut on you. But you'll never use the shortcut. You'll have no need to. Halberd, it is a freaking amazing weapon. It has drawbacks. It does. We can roll with it, but this weapon, if you miss, you get like a second of stagger, which can really screw you up. But otherwise, it does awesome attacks. It's ridiculously strong, and its range is ridiculous, especially against his Boulder Knights. And soon be able to get a +5, and it will be ridiculous. The only time it isn't good against things is when there's quite a few groups of enemies and they're like around you. Doing a hit and multiple with this weapon isn't good, because it takes a while to prepare. That's why we're also going to get the longsword up, so that we can switch out for that if we need to quickly. Which is a plan. It's a good plan. These guys you don't actually need to kill, but there's a chance they'll drop Titanite shards, which you want. This dude parried me because they're douchebags. I think every enemy can parry, just not all of them do regularly. There's a chance they can drop parts of their armor set, which isn't bad, and they can drop Titanite shards, which we want. So it's a good idea usually to kill them. I'll be pretty much using the halberd and the longsword through the rest of the game. There's quite a few other weapons, obviously there's loads, and you can use whatever you want, but I would recommend the halberd. It's really good. And obviously the longsword, because it's always just reliable and has a great moveset. Running down the opposite direction will get you to the next bonfire, but if you feel up to it, you can just try and fight this guy now, because he has a Titanite shard on him, which means we'll be able to upgrade this weapon faster without having to run back. He really isn't hard, and once you get him down to a reasonable amount of health loss, he will decide to use an Estus flask if you back off from him, which means you can just deliver a finishing blow. Lots of enemies will do that, just decide to take an Estus flask swig, which is pretty good. Another Firekeeper Soul, probably if you didn't go to the New London Ruins, the first one you'll get in the game. We can leave and go back down to Firelink Shrine, but we're not going to. We're going to go and get the next bonfire, which we will definitely kindle, because it's like, other than Firelink Shrine, this is like our secondary hub. You will come here, it lets you go to Sin's Fortress, back to the Undead Parish, to the forest. It goes everywhere. It's great. I was just checking if there's any more things, because we're going to need some souls. We're going to level up our halberd. We'll just quickly do this. We won't level up again for a little while because we're just going to level up our weapons, which should be fine. You can also always grind if you need some more souls. It's not hard, especially in the area we are. There's those few boulders and there's hollows, and you can get quite a few souls. And this is Andre. He's the blacksmith we will be using, unlike the other dude. We do have the repair kit that we bought earlier, but I forget to use it. It is a good thing to have though, to try and get those 5,000 souls. But level up the halberd. If you do not have enough Titanite shards, you can buy them from this dude. There's lots of other different types of Titanite: blue, red, white, large Titanite chunks, Titanite slabs, twinkling Titanite as well. Other different blacksmiths later on will sell them if you don't want to grind for them. We're speeding up here because we've got to go and get another ring. It was the other ring I'll pretty much use through the whole game. It's a wolf ring. And we've got to run through the forest to do it. And some of them require, some bits require going through hidden paths. So I thought I'd show the whole route. You kind of want to come through here as well because these plant guys will drop moss, either purple moss or red moss. Purple moss gets rid of poison, red moss gets rid of bleed effects. Really useful for a later area coming up later. There's another bonfire we might use later. I wouldn't usually aggro all these, but I was hoping some of them would drop extra moss. Because every time you come through here now, these will permanently be awake and will chase you. So if you don't need to go in there, because all there is one soul, you might not ever want to disturb them. But you can, they're not terrible. Now this is the first secret place. You need to kill this tree. That's right, this key has souls. this tree has souls and will let you get to a new area. And there's a second tree. You don't actually need to kill it to get past, but it gives you like 180 souls, so why not just destroy it? Okay, we're going to go back to normal speed. Go on, slow down. Up here is another enemy. You do not need to fight him yet. He is pretty tough. He also can slow you down. Just, you don't need to. Just around this corner is the ring, and then we can jump straight across back to the area we were earlier. You might mess up this jump, and if you do, you will definitely die. But you can make it across. And we get Wolf Ring, boost poise. Poise, there is a meter. Some different armors will get up poise as well, and some stats, I'm not really sure. But poise means you're less likely to be staggered by someone's attacks, which is ridiculously useful because there is some enemies that will stun lock you later on, and having higher poise will mean you won't be. I've equipped the longsword here because there is another crystal lizard. The halberd is not great for attacking things smaller than you, so you might miss with it. Longsword's not doing much damage, but you know, these will disappear if you don't kill them quick enough, so that's why I equipped the longsword. And back to the halberd. The reason we're going down this side path is for a shield. There is also another black knight and the hunter's set, which gives you a bow and arrow, a long bow. But you know, down here's another black knight with a halberd, and you get a shield. That's pretty good. I forget to equip it because the spider shield is perfectly fine for now, but the shield down there has, I think, lightning defense, which is good for a boss later on. And this dude, as usual, backstab, but you do 202 damage now. Be careful with this one though, because there is a good chance you will knock him off the edge with the backstab, so try and get him on the edge. Because he might drop stuff, like the halberd. I don't think he does though, no. Just blue titanite, which I think gets up... I don't know what blue titanite gets up, because green titanite gets up divine weapons, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure what blue titanite does. Yeah, I ain't got a clue. But Grass Crest Shield, it's pretty great, and then we'll just Homeward Bone back. Homeward Bone! Yeah. You can buy Homeward Bones, so don't really worry about losing them. Before we go in the elevator and open up the shortcut to Firelink Shrine, we're going to go up here and set a lot of stuff up. This is why the halberd's great. Up here is a six-eyed channeler who will buff enemies and shoot you with magic. Good thing to do, stand here and you will lure him out of there. I mess it up somehow and he gets lost. Because if you just do the two-handed R2 or right trigger, whatever the thing is, you'll kill him in a hit. But it doesn't work. He decides to stand back there, which is very fucking annoying. This room is also one of the hardest rooms in the game, early level. I was trying to lure him, it wasn't working. Because all these hollows in here will just rush you and will destroy you. But if you have the halberd, it's easy. You can just stand outside this room and just take them out one by one. These are usually terrible if you do not have the halberd, because they will just do their like crazy freak out and will just wreck you. But you can just kill them one by one. You'll sometimes get 2 with 1 attack, and they're great. The problem is they're buffed at the moment, so they do even more damage if you don't kill them. But we're just going to do the R2, and dush dush, he is now dead. He will not respawn, and we also got his weapon, which is a rare drop as well, which is nice. Okay, gonna get that. There is an NPC. The other door on the other side of this room will take you up to the boss. Don't do it yet though. Go over here because there's an NPC who you'll be able to summon to fight the boss. I don't think I really ever fight this boss without summoning. You can summon real people, obviously, or you can summon NPC characters, who I think are more reliable sometimes. For this boss, you can summon Slayer and Lautrec, who are both really useful. The only problem with summoning help sometimes with bosses is it gives the boss extra health, which sometimes you might just not want to summon, because sometimes it's ridiculous. So, you know. The mystery key, which you get after the room, no, you get in the room just after you fight the boar, will free Lautrec. He's a bit of a douchebag, and we'll get onto him later. But to be able to summon him, though, you need to talk to him one more time. He returns to the Firelink Shrine, and we need to run back there. But while we're there, we can also get give the Firekeeper soul to the Firekeeper, so it's not all just a waste. And we can also get an item. Problem here, though, is I was being invaded. That's what that means when you can't exit an area. It's usually being invaded. And jumping off the edge gets all 3 of these. But this is why the halberd is awesome, because we can just kill all of them in like a hit. Bam, we got the Balder-side sword. This, some reason, glitched out though, and the dude wouldn't summon, so I had to restart the game. And, you know, it sucked. On the way down though, we can get a key and set up something later. The way back to the asylum is this way as well. So, we're not going to go there yet, but you can. To get over here, the best thing I'd say to do is get really close to the edge and then just roll. Trying to jump will sometimes mess you up. All the way up the top of this tower is the way back to the asylum, but we're not going to go there yet, so just jump across and get a key that will be used later on in the Undead Asylum. It will allow you to get the rusted ring, I think, which lets you traverse water. Traverse through uneasy surfaces, it says, which is water. We're just going to run, see Lautrec so we can summon him. Be fine. Firelink Shrine's great. As you go through, the place fills up with NPCs. You can get quite a few later on. The majority of them don't end up going great, but it's fine. There's Lautrec. He'll give you a sunlight medal.
I am green.
And once you've talked to him, you'll now be able to summon him. We'll get to stuff with him later. He's eyeing up the Firekeeper. That's fine. Now we're back here. This is the other room with the ladder. And we're going to fight the boss. The boss. I said that weird, but that's fine. We're going to fight the boss. First, Lautrec is over here, and Slayer is at the top right next to the door. I'm playing this on PC, and there are still quite a few people on the multiplayer. Not as many as there are on consoles, but you can still summon people if you wanted to. You can only summon 2 at a time. But Lautrec's being summoned, and then we'll summon Slayer. It doesn't all go completely to plan, though, because I got invaded. Unlucky for him, though, I had 2 NPC summons on my side, which he must have thought, crap, this couldn't have really gone worse for me. He also kind of Fs himself by jumping down there, which, like bosses, you can get extra damage from falling attacks. So, yeah, he wasn't that intelligent. Not really his fault. Kind of sucks for him. I F'd him up pretty good. That's fine. Franz, amen. And then Lautrec and Slayer have a falling out. He like kicks him. Oh, I'm sorry, Slayer. Lautrec, don't be a douche. His armour is pretty cool and has a lot of lore to it. He's like devoted to a god, the goddess of love, and his armour has arms wrapped around him, and he has a ring that once removed it breaks forever, and it's all like a devotion to a goddess. It's kind of weird, but cool. It's very Aphrodite from Greek mythology. Lots of Dark Souls is based on ancient mythology. I think it's mostly Norse though, with like Gwyn and things, and Sif, and many things like that. It's more Norse, but there is quite a few Greek references. The Bell Gargoyle is a hard fight and took me months the first time I played this game. If you summon both these guys though, it is easy. Like a lot of bosses in this game, his tail will give you a weapon. I don't get it. It also isn't very good, so don't worry about it. Try and cut it off though, because it is like an attack. He can attack you with it, so cutting it off means he loses one of his attacks, which is fine. Once you've got his health him down to half health, a second one will summon. It doesn't have a tail, but he likes to breathe fire a lot. But if you've got both the two summons, this is the easiest fight in the game. Get the Gargoyle Helm. Never going to use it. That's fine. Poor dude. I have just fought these guys again on Dark Souls 2, and they are way worse, because there's like 6 of them. it's way worse than Dark Souls 2. Slayer using his lightning bolts. But that's fine. Once he's dead, run up, ring the bell, and you'll meet a new NPC, which is nice. But I'm not going to show you that. We're going to go back, going to level up the Longsword of +5, and then we'll be done. And this is a guide.
Well,
yes. Okay. I need to purchase some stuff. I don't need 5, I only need 4, but that's fine. Bush. Bush. Then we'll go and level up and we'll be done. Next time we will go to the Asylum again and do all that cool stuff, and then we might do Blighttown. I don't think we'll get it all done in one video. We might, because the Asylum might take long. We'll see. Yeah, just going to level up and then we'll be done. It's going to go really fast. So, I've been Archie, this has been Dark Souls, thanks for watching. Come back next time and we will do what I just said. Goodbye.